We talked about attitude. We talked about having a game mindset. We talked about having gratitude, which is the second pillar. We then talked about getting to the feeling of it, number three. The reason why the feeling is so important is the feeling turns into the belief. That's number three. And then number four, once you have the belief, you will then do the thing. When you do the thing, you're becoming the person. And that's pillar number five. Because when you do the thing and you analyze deals as an investor, when you do the thing and go to the gym to be the fitter person that you're trying to be, or the healthier person that you're trying to be, you're now becoming the person because you're doing the thing that that person needs to do to become the person. But you first have to have belief.
Who's this? Oh, you're an entrepreneur? Oh, you're a real estate investor? Oh, you're trying to learn from those who did it? Well, come into the lab then. Put your white coat on, gloves on, notepad, and let's build, y'all.
Experimentation, your host, Ruben Kanya here, coming in with another short, punchy, and mind paradigm shifting, changing episode. Much needed in this environment as we're getting into, what are we already in Q3? We are in Q3, headed in Q4 soon. And there's I recently hopped on an episode which with a partner that is a good friend of mine and that I highly respect, that in this space as well. We actually have a retreat coming up in November, I believe, if I'm correct. And so first of all, huge shout out to Dr. Rachel Gainsborough, because we hopped on and we recently recorded on her show. I got a chance to kind of interview her on her own show to celebrate the 100 episodes. That's the Luxury Rental Doctor Show by Short Term Gems. Check it out. I always like to give my friends kudos for achieving milestones, and you, my friend, are on the other side of that as well. So sometimes we don't get a chance to appreciate the milestones that we achieve because we're always operating in the gap, which is something I want to talk about, because I think it's easy for us to go there, especially with a lot of noise and inspiration sometimes that turns into possibly some anxiety and some discomfort because you're not where you want to be. And so I want to talk about a framework that we discuss during that episode to bring it here back to the lab, because I think it's just so powerful wherever you are in your journey. I just finished reading the book by a shout out to Andrew Wilkinson, another Canadian brother out there doing his thing. This is a gentleman who he's achieved billionaire status, and I just read his book Never Enough, and it's just fascinating to hear how much people in his world, he's met multiple billionaires, worked with them, stayed at their homes, visited their place, and there was always a very toxic mindset almost of not having enough still, which to me is this framework that I want to share with you is one that I spend a lot of time working on mindset, coaches, reading books, getting insights, seeing how people get very quick results in the industry. And I want to just share them with you because I think it's going to help you wherever you are in your journey, whether everything's going gravy or you feel like, things are taking a little too long to manifest, which I use that word not lightly. There is a process behind that. It's not just wishing for it, but there is also certainly a level of attitude that you need to have and a mental framework that I've adopted that I want to share with you so that you can expedite and accelerate your success in your lab. When I say lab, of course, it's in your lab equals life. Lab equals your market. Lab equals your venture, your real estate venture, your life venture, your personal goals, right? Whatever that might be, that number, that lucrative number that you're trying to hit. So maybe you break away from the 9 to 5, or maybe you keep the 9 to 5, and maybe you just buy that home, the dream home you've always wanted to buy for your family, and go into the vacation you've always wanted to have for your family, or get that peace of mind that you've been looking for. So I think there's a lot of different things, but the framework works the same. So I want to go over it. It's a 6 step framework. I want to keep it just super punchy for you so you can take it away, maybe even re listen to it. This is more of my mental. Every morning, I do a lot of spiritual gratitude work, vision work, images, mental images, feeling. What is the feeling that you need to feel to get to the thing you want to get to so that you can attract the right people you want to attract so that you can then take the right actions throughout the day. And again, our life, I recently, one of my coaches said, and I'm going to pull it up here just because I thought it was, I should have put it up earlier, but I thought it was remarkable that essentially he said the vibration that you're on is also the same as your level of your awareness, and essentially he also said the life that you're living is 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 a frequency essentially. So what does that mean? Let's talk about it. So what's framework? What's the framework and what's the pillar number one? Pillar number one is attitude. Okay. And having the right attitude is Earl Nightingale talks about this being one of the most important things that you can have, the difference between one who's successful and who's not, the difference between one bouncing back after failure, major failure. We're talking like bankruptcy. We're talking about anything, wherever you are in your life, whether it's a divorce or a partnership that went south, a business partnership or a deal that went south, you lost money, whatever it is, your attitude against the very thing is going to be the thing that gets you out of it. Because if you think about the situation that you're in, there's somebody else who's been in that exact situation or even worse that won with what less than what you had, whether it's less resources, less relationship, less support. Uh, there's somebody out there that has won with the exact same problem that you have with less than what you had. So if you think about that, it means you can overcome the difference between perhaps what that person had and the other person is the attitude that they were going to get through it. So now that can seem simple, but what does that really mean? The attitude, when you think about it, there's so I love the book The Gap and the Gain, because by Benjamin Hardy is I hope that's I didn't butcher that. I think that's Benjamin Hardy, The Gap and the Gain, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I believe that's the case. Yes, Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. So the gap in the gain, it's very simple. You can have an outcome in your life, whether you're looking to get a deal and you might be in the, wow, I still don't have a deal yet. That's the gap mindset. Wow, I just saw someone on social media close on a cash flowing $5,000 a month. Wow, I don't have that. Must be nice. Gap thinking. Um, wow, I cannot wait until I have this thing that I'm striving for. Gap. Okay. Gain, being in the gain mindset is thinking, wow, okay, great. I just got, I just made a call towards a lender and they told me everything that I needed to have to be able to start my application for this loan. Gain. You're going in the right direction. You're headed in the right direction. When you wake up today, when you wake up every day, you have an opportunity to, you have everything to gain and nothing to lose because you are where you are, right? Now, even when you say losing money or whatever the case might be, there's still an experience to be gained or a lesson to be gained if you have the right attitude in order to be able to extract the gains. So just think about it. Anytime there's a situation, whether it's at work, whether it's with a tenant, that's complaining about something that's wrong in your home or left you a negative review, is there a gain that can be had from that? The difference between you seeing the gain versus the gap is going to be based on the attitude that you have. And trust me, there is always a gain. There's always a lessons learned. There's always an opportunity for you to now find the solution to the problem so that next time you face that problem, you'll know how to overcome it or even prevent it from happening because you had the attitude to operate in the game, which is not easy to do, by the way, because naturally we can feel like there's lack of. As a matter of fact, they say there's thousands of thoughts that we have a day, and apparently 70% of them are just negative thoughts because we're anxious, worried creatures, especially in this day and age with all that we're stimulated with on social. It's easy to go into the gap like, oh, wow, I can't wait until I have that, and not being very gracious of the thing that you currently have today, which is the next point. So, okay, so based on what I just said, make sure you focus on the gain by having the right attitude. So attitude is the first pillar. It helps you have a gain mindset. So glad I got pre-approved. So glad I'm making progress towards now getting pre-approved. So glad that even though I got denied on a pre-approval, they told me exactly what I needed so that I know exactly what I need to do, whether it's fix my credit, pay off this credit card, find another solution, or go deep into a situation where there's many people who haven't been pre-approved. There's many people who the bank said no to them, and then they found a way, found out what those people have done, and then use that. And now you've gained insight, you've gained a tool, you've gained a strategy. It's so important to think about that. There's usually the difference between where we are and where we want to go is a gap in just knowledge, because there's always a solution. We just are not aware of it. We lack the awareness. So, attitude number one, gain mindset, is the stepping stone towards this next one right here, which is number two, gratitude. So, the reason why gratitude is so powerful is because gratitude is like the fuel for the soul, right? If you're gracious, you're now immediately on a frequency level of positivity where you're looking at things at the glass half full rather than half empty. And when you look at glass half full, you'll see that there are opportunities that you wouldn't have seen if the glass was half empty. And so you can only be willing to receive when you're in a position, and in a gracious position, to be grateful of the things you currently have. And this is so important. I recently heard in the book that if you can't enjoy a cup of coffee, you can't enjoy wine on the yacht either, right? It just, you're never, we adapt so much that it's not going to matter where, if you don't have the gratitude baked into your life on a day to day, grateful for the little that you have, grateful for the lot that you have without realizing, because it's little based in comparison to someone else, which is a game that you don't want to play in, right? Because there's always a higher level. So therefore, at what point do you say enough is enough? That's why I love the book Never Enough, because he shows that there's billionaires out there. And again, we use money as a metric. We know that just because you're a billionaire doesn't mean you have a great relationship, doesn't mean you have the best, network. It doesn't mean anything, but it's a measuring point. I think, unfortunately, in our society, and even mentally, sometimes we just measure our KPIs. We don't measure things that are unmeasurable, like peace of mind. How do I measure your peace of mind versus mine? Do I have more peace of mind than you do? Am I more at peace? Well, it's not a number in a bank account that you can see somewhere, and therefore people resort to things like money, things like what they can see in the bank, etc. But there's more than beyond that. But I use the billionaire as an example because we all understand the level of wealth that is. That's kind of that's insane. Like, that's, think about 999 million, and then you get another one, and that's a billion. Like, that's 1,000 millions. Is that what it is? Like, it's wild.
Experiment Nation, you've heard the word MTR, mid-term rentals, as it is currently a hot topic and hot commodity right now because, again, there has been an increase in short-term rental regulations, and there also has been, let's face it, a slowdown in what we were experiencing a couple years back when it comes to bookings. So with that said, short-term rental operators are looking for alternative solutions to tap into the mid-term rental space. However, there is a sub niche of mid-term rental insurance that I'm truly excited about, that I want to share with you, that the experience that we've had, the tremendous results we've been able to have, and that's the insurance mid-term rental space, which is very different than your traditional mid-term rentals. When you think of traditionally mid-term rentals, you think of travel nurses. There is a space, mid-term rental insurance space, that we've tapped in, where you need to be well connected with insurance and relocation specialists and companies, and understand the right type of asset required for you to be able to help these families. What's really important, that stands out the most, which you can get in what I'm about to offer you, is the understanding where to be found by these insurance companies, how to properly manage your calendar so that your listings are optimized so that they can find you, how to actually gain traction and build a relationship with these relocation insurance companies. I've put together an MTR insurance blueprint. That's MMT insurance blueprint to cover these foundations after we've had success landing very large contracts on single family homes that literally 4x what we traditionally make in long-term rentals, and also gives us peace of mind because there's less turnover and 100% occupancy, because these contracts can start anywhere from 30 days to 3 months to 8 months and range anywhere from, again, we've landed anywhere from $8,000 to $9,000 a month in per month on a single family home property, which our mortgages are typically around the 2,400 range, which then gives you a large spread of anywhere from 4 to 6K net on just one property. And this is why it's very hot right now. But people who haven't been in the lab with individuals like myself, like Jesse Vasquez and Dr. Rachel Gainsborough and Noble Crawford, don't have the foundations and don't know exactly where to start. And therefore, this is why I'm giving you guys a blueprint, the MTRR insurance blueprint. Go to the website, experimentrealestate.com, and get yourself a blueprint to completely change, or at least have a plan B if you're a short-term rental operator looking to maximize your occupancy and profitability. We'll see you on the other side.
So if you think about that, you need to be grateful, because then what will happen is gratitude will get you into the feeling. And there's a great book out there called Feelings the Secret by Neville Goddard, and I think it's super powerful. You really need to get into it. Well, you might think, oh my gosh, Ruben, this is so, but this is the stuff that, if you just interview people who are where you want to go, or listen to them, what do they have? One thing that they have, if you look at it very closely, they have belief. And how do they have belief? It's because they have the feeling, they've received the feeling, and because the feeling gives them the confidence, because when you are feeling like you're already there, this is why there's a lot of things that, mental exercise that says, I'm so happy and grateful now, that gets you into the feeling. And that's, by the way, a coined Bob Proctor kind of framework. I'm so happy and grateful now that blank, now that I'm receiving pre-approvals, now that I'm getting properties that are cash flowing, now that I'm getting deals that are being sent to me, now that I'm attracting the right contractors, now that I'm attracting the right team members, or attracting the right cleaners. I'm so happy and grateful now that I already have a team that's ready to support me and overcome the challenges I'm going to face, and then learn from and then gain more from them. I'm so happy and grateful that you're presently framing yourself of being grateful, and that gets you into the feeling of being in that spirit to then start being able to believe that you're heading in the right direction. And once you believe, belief is the very thing that helps you. Actually, look this up, because what is belief? Look at the definition of belief for a second, because belief is a psychological state in which a person holds something to be true or accepts it as real, often without requiring empirical evidence. So just like fear is something that hasn't happened yet. You're anxious, you have anxiety. It's you're creating these thoughts and an outcome that doesn't exist. Belief is the exact opposite of fear, because usually when we have fear, something hasn't happened yet, right? Now you can be there's fearful and there's fear. It's an anticipation, but it's usually not the thing that is happening right now. It's just an anticipation. Belief is the exact same thing. It's believing, and belief gives you faith, and beliefs can be based on faith, experience, cultural or social influences, or a combination of these factors. All right. They can shape how individuals perceive the world, make decisions, and interact with others. That right there. Making decisions. Once you make a decision because of the feeling that you have, you then make the decision to either take the action or do the thing. In order for us to receive what we want, this is pillar number 4 now. So we talked about attitude. We talked about having a game mindset. We talked about having gratitude, which is the second pillar. We then talked about getting to the feeling of it, number 3. The reason why the feeling is so important is the feeling turns into the belief. That's number 3. And then number 4, once you have the belief, you will then do the thing. When you do the thing, it's actually, you're becoming the person. And that's pillar number 5. Because when you do the thing and you analyze deals as an investor, when you do the thing and go to the gym to be the fitter person that you're trying to be, or the healthier person that you're trying to be, you're now becoming the person, because you're doing the thing that person needs to do to become the person. But you first had to have belief, and because you had the feeling, it got you into the confidence. The confidence led to the belief. The belief allowed you to have the confidence to do the thing. And this is why someone can lose a bunch of money or lose a business, etc., lose a deal, and then do it all over again and have success, because they believe that they can do the thing because they've done the thing. So you must do the thing to then become the person. And when you do the thing, you now essentially become the person, because you're saying, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm doing these things, and you're doing those things. And then when you do the things, you get the result. And when you're becoming the person, it even reinforces who you are, the outcome, so that you can then receive the thing, which is the pillar number 6. So you can think of this of belief, do, become, have. Right? There's the be, do, have, but before the be, it's the believing. Right? And before that, it's the gratitude, and before that, it's the attitude. So if you have the right attitude, you'll then get to the point where you have gratitude, right? And when you have gratitude, you'll have the right feeling and belief. And when you have belief, you'll then become the person, and or excuse me, you'll do the thing. When you do the thing, you'll become the person. When you become the person that does the thing, you will have the thing. And the thing is AKA anything that you desire and want to manifest. So you can see that manifestation is not just sitting around. It's, again, having the right attitude, having the right gratitude, having the right belief, doing the right thing, doing the thing that that person needs to do, becoming the person that is going to continue to do the thing, and then having the thing to receive it. It's fascinating. I have a lot of resources I dropped. One of my favorite books, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. Never Enough was the book of the month by Andrew Wilkinson. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard is good. And I continuously refer back to this book as well. Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life, Roxy Nafusi. That's been some great gems from that. And then guess what? You can borrow someone else's belief and make it yours. That is the beautiful thing. And that is actually the best thing that you get from mentors, because they believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And when you borrow from their belief system, or borrow their mental frameworks, because you might have a lot that I'm like, I don't think I can make this much on a deal, but my coach says I can, or this person did it too, and they look just like me, and they live in the exact same neighborhood. As a matter of fact, that's how it happened with Dr. Rachel Gainsborough. Now, she showed me something, and it made me believe. I'm like, wait, what? You can get this in this neighborhood, in this type of home, without having a pool, without having all these crazy things. You can get this kind of money on this. You can help these kind of families. You can provide a solution. So now just think about it. What is the belief system that is holding you back? I just wrote down part of my morning journal. I have to write down, what will you let go of? And if you think about that, think about, will you let go of your old beliefs so that you can have new ones that will then allow you to, become the person, to do the thing, to have the thing? Be, do, have. Start believing first, but that starts with having an attitude of being not only open to learning things, but also an attitude that I'm headed in the right direction, because I now have a piece of information that I didn't once have before. And therefore, I'm grateful that I have the awareness, and that I'm an open person willing to learn and adapt new mental frameworks, so that I can then have new beliefs that will then help me become the person that I will do the thing to have the thing. So, not your typical episode. Most people kind of overlook this, but I promise, if you really start focusing on this, you will see changes in your life. And that is right there, the 6-step mental framework to accelerate your success in your lab. And by the way, I didn't mention this was a fun episode that I had with Rachel. So make sure you also check out the power of community and strategy in building a successful rental business on the Luxury Rental Doctor Show by Short Term Gems. That was a really good, fun episode that we recorded on her platform to celebrate her 100 episodes. Speaking of 100 episodes, we're coming just around our 300 episode mark. We're going to do something special. But before I drop recently became a YouTube partner thanks to all you who watch on YouTube. So I wanted to thank you for that. And for those of you who are listening, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. It's in the description on our YouTube channel, because while I've become a YouTube partner, it gives me the ability to give more access to the listeners. That's how they reward you, because there's so many subscribers, there's so many hours of content being consumed. They now allow you to have even these separate doors of membership based on the level of access you want to have. We'll do anywhere from giving you insight as to the mastermind calls that I have to I should be teasing this. I mean, there's so many different tiers that we're gonna have. It's gonna be interesting questions that come in my mastermind, questions going live. There's gonna be a lot of different tiers, and so but you can only find out by being subscribed. So I want to make sure that if you're listening to this on YouTube or you're on Apple or wherever you're listening to this, make sure you also subscribe, because if you're on the YouTube channel, because I'm gonna be opening up some access never been done before. And if you're in my mastermind, you know how valuable these insights and frameworks like this can help you accelerate your success. So I'm really excited to create another bridge into the community where I'll be able to connect with those who find what we're discussing and what we do and what I do valuable. And it's been a really rewarding community, being able to even hop on the midterm mental hot seat and meeting people in our community who are digesting all this content and taking action and getting results, which I love. So if you ever get results, make sure you just email us at ruben@experimentrealestate.com. And then if you're interested in working with us, I know a lot of people kind of always ask the question, make sure you just go on experimentrealestate.com, go to / submit. Okay. And if you go there, you'll be able to submit how you can work with me. And then we can kind of introduce you, whether it's this new channel that's in YouTube, or this new membership that you're interested in, or maybe it's joining the mastermind, which is a selection process. Maybe it's one of the bootcamp replays that might help you. Wherever you are in your journey, my goal is to have something for you to help you on the other side, wherever you are. And remember, believe, right? Believe, have the attitude, have the gratitude, believe, become, do, and have the thing that you're looking for. Experimentation, just like that, we are out to conquer the rest of your day or evening. Cheers. Experimentation, I believe there are two critical components that will help you achieve your goals very quickly and succeed. Number one, it's information like this that you received on a show, in an episode, and content that you can find on my YouTube channel or anybody's channel. And then there's a community. And the way we've been able to expedite our process, the way people in our community, people that we consult, mastermind members, whoever, they get the information on an episode like this, but then they also have the support, whether it's me guiding them or being guided through a community. There is an opportunity for you listening to be able to expedite your process, or even expedite your results that you're seeking by being in part of the community. If that is what you're interested in, we at Experiment Nation happen to have a community devoted to helping maximize your occupancy and your profitability altogether, regardless of which market that you are in. And for that reason, you have an opportunity where you can go to experimentrealestate.com / submit if you're looking to work in an environment that can help you prosper faster. Call out any areas that you might not be familiar in, especially the blind spots. That's where a guide comes in hand, and I would be a pleasure and honor to be your guide. But in order to make sure you're a good fit, make sure you go to experimentrealestate.com / submit so my team can go ahead and take it and see if you're a good fit to join the mastermind and the multiple programs that we have. In addition to that, I'm also now a YouTube partner, which means that I want to give you more access to information, more access to Q&As, more access to the questions that actually come out of our mastermind that help people expedite the process. We've seen people get anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 to even $7,000 a month net on just one door by applying the strategies that we use by working with corporations and furnished accommodation in a very strategic way. So if you're interested, make sure you also subscribe, because I'm going to have different tiers that's on YouTube now that we've become YouTube partner, to continue to be the bridge to your success in your lab, and your lab means your life, your goals, or wherever you're trying to head. So make sure you also hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/real estate experiment. We'll be there. You can also look us up at Midterm Rental Insurance Experiment. We will be there. Make sure you hit the subscribe, because that's when you'll know the tiers that are available to you that make sense for you, your marketplace, for your results. Remember, you're only one experiment away. Let's build.